Okay, to another beautiful Monday morning on Impact Africa Television. My name is Eniola Folabi and this is AM Sports. We are set again to take you around the world of sports, serve you in-depth analysis on top stories making headlines in the world of sports. And I'm not alone in the studio. I've got my partner in the studio, Isaiah Akinremi. Good morning to you and nice having you in the studio to talk sports on Impact Africa Television.
Yeah, good morning to you, the Sport Marshal. Good morning to our viewers out there. After the 3M's derby, one stood out, the Manchester derby, and what a way to go. I welcome everybody on board. Yeah,
we'll talk about the MMM, as he said. Yeah, not the MMM you are used to. We are talking about the Merseyside derby, the Madrid derby, and of course, we are also going to talk about Nigerian contingent in the continent of Africa, talking about the CAF Club competition, the CAF Confederation Cup. Remember, Eyimba Football Club of Abawa in action over the weekend, precisely on Friday against Bidvest West of South Africa. It ended 1 goal apiece, and on Sunday, 2 Nigerian club sides were also in action, one in faraway Mali, Joliba in Mali facing MFMFC of Nigeria, as well as Nigerian champions in the CAF, Nigerians representative in the CAF Confederation Cup, Aqua United up against Al Hilal of Sudan. We'll be taking a look at this. Take a look at what happened over the weekend in top European leagues. Well, in the German Bundesliga is now Bayern Munich crowned champions after defeating Augsburg 4-1 on Saturday for their 6th straight Bundesliga title. We'll be talking about that. And, well, Juventus to also cruising to the Italian Serie A title. They defeated Benevento 4-2 over the weekend as well. And talking about the biggest one in the English Premier League, Manchester United came from 2 goals down to actually beat Manchester City by 3-2. And, of course, postponed their party. Well, eyes cooled again for the 2 weeks time. In the next 2 weeks time, as far as the game is concerned, talking about the English Premier League. We'll be talking about this as well as the Commonwealth Games on the program this morning. But let's get the show on with what is happening from the Commonwealth Games, where it's not a good story for Nigeria contingent there, or should I say mixed fortune of results for Nigerian contingent to the Commonwealth Games in Gold Coast, Australia. Well, because Nigerian basketball team over the weekend lost their 2nd straight game, this time to Canada. Remember, they lost their first game, scandalously, to New Zealand, and now have a date against Australia, the host country, later today. Well, Ike Diogo, the captain of the side, is an unhappy man this morning. And of course, he's saying that it's going to be tough for them against Australia. First, let's talk about Nigerian contingent basketball team, the Tigers, who lost 2 straight games to New Zealand and of course Canada, and up against Australia, the host country, in a very, very tough encounter.
Yeah, I don't expect anything, to be frank with you this morning. I don't expect the Tigers to be able to...
Away games on Sunday, the athletics event of the game started, and Lord Sebastian Coe expectedly hit out at fans who are obsessed, in his own word, for Usain Bolt. Remember, Usain Bolt is not going to be in Australia. He has retired last year, and now attention focus now on certain Johan Blake, his training partner, who seems to be the next big thing in world athletics now. But a whole lot of people are still not giving up on Usain Bolt. They are thinking this guy should still come back. Lord Sebastian Coe is saying, no, you guys are too obsessed with Usain Bolt.
I believe we should respect people's decision. It is his own personal decision. He has graced the tracks, and I believe we are blessed, to see Lightning Bolt, grace the tracks and, serve us fantastic races. So I think he understands the dynamic of his body. He is the one fit to be able to say it's time to call it quits. And I think if Usain Bolt has decided to call it quits, we should respect it.
He is actually saying there's no athletics is not short of talent, and that the absence of Usain Bolt does not mean we won't have big stars at the games.
Are we going to have stars that will weigh up to the size, if I want to put it in quote, of Usain Bolt? I don't think so. Johan Blake for me, is not my ideal type of athlete. He gets disorganized, and he gets disinterested at sometimes. I remember he has this drugs issue. That really want to really tarnish his image. So I think Usain Bolt for me the best so far. So good.
Okay, well, just yesterday too, Sunday precisely, Aruna Kodri landed in Australia to boost Nigeria's medal haul. As far as table tennis is concerned, is based in Portugal, but now has arrived in Australia for the games. That should give Nigeria, edge.
Yeah, I agree totally with you. He's our biggest export, when it comes to table tennis, and I think Aruna Kodri now in Gold Coast, Australia, will really help our medals hopes. So I think with him in the camp of the Nigerian contingent, especially table tennis, should really spur them on to achieve greater things.
Okay, let's leave the Commonwealth Games, and of course we'll still keep you up to date with happenings as far as Gold Coast 2018 is concerned. Don't forget, Nigeria is still searching for our first medal in the competition, medal of any color. anyone as we speak would definitely start. But that's not to say we're going to finish the games without a medal. I'm so sure at least we'll get few gold medals. No, we're going to get gold medals, no doubt about that. Okay, let's leave the Commonwealth Games and talk about tennis, where Spain came from behind to beat Germany and reach the Davis Cup semi-finals after Rafael Nadal and David Ferrer actually won their singles title. It's good to have Rafael Nadal back on the court. Not just coming back on the clay court. It's strong points.
Exactly.
What a way to announce his arrival than to win the Davis Cup. In Germany.
When I saw the news, last week, I was glad. It's been a while we've seen, Rafael Nadal grace the court, and like rightly said, the clay, is a powerful player. He loves playing with all, his strength, and he's a player that I love seeing on the court because of the way he approached the game. So it's really good, that Rafael Nadal is back. Remember, he got that injury out.
Okay, welcome back. That was actually the Volvo Cup tennis tournament there, where Kiki Bertens is doing very, very well for ourselves. But from there, let's move straight to Formula One to talk about what happened over the weekend in Bahrain. Remember, we had the second Grand Prix of the year, and of course in Bahrain, and not the name you are familiar with, winning this time around again. Lewis Hamilton losing the second Grand Prix of the year. Remember, he lost in the final of the Australian Grand Prix, losing only through virtual safety car, and on Sunday too, right there in Bahrain, he lost again. Wow. And he has actually accused Max Verstappen of disrespect, lack of
Lewis Hamilton, after losing the Australian Grand Prix, to his arch rival, Sebastian Vettel. I thought, this is the right time for him to make his statement. But I think, I want to lose sleep over that, because if you could remember last season, a certain, Sebastian Vettel, was leading the pack. In fact, it was 14 points, advantage over Lewis Hamilton. And before you could say Jack Robinson, that deficit turned to an advantage. It was at a certain stage 56-point advantage.
Yeah, you keep telling me, you keep making reference to last year. There is no problem making reference to that. But the point is, it's not going to be like that all the time.
Yeah, it's not going to be like
this guy lost 2 straight races now. On the back of the fact that everybody thought it's Lewis Hamilton's season.
And if you could agree with me, you remember that he was served a 5-place penalty grade, and he started.
It's not the only one that served that, and beside it, that's a problem of his engine and Mercedes technicians.
And if not, for the lackadaisical attitude or the negligent attitude of the Mercedes team, I think he should have come top, in the Australian Grand Prix, because they had a miscalculation.
It should have come top. It should. But unfortunately,
but I think you have to give Lewis Hamilton credit, because after serving that 5-place penalty grade, he still came in second position at the end of the day. And I think 14-point deficit is not church close at the end of the day, because there are still more races to be run. And I believe Lewis Hamilton is a fantastic man that knows how to
maybe in the next 3 races you still call back to tell me that the 14-point rule.
Yes, I'm going to wait to the end. I'm going to end.
It's not much to cover.
To the end of the 4th or the 5th race, then I can now have a clear picture of how the Rays,
But note that the pressure is on Lewis Hamilton now to do well, where everybody give it to him, even before the start of the race. I remember we were analyzing Formula One, and you told me specifically that there is nobody to stand on the way of this guy.
Yes,
I mean, not even
not
even Ferrari of this world, not even Kimi Räikkönen.
I haven't said that. I think I need to give kudos, to the Ferrari team. It seems they are going out, they are set, on taking the title, of wrestling the title from Mercedes. I think, they're in the right stead.
Even though they started as an outsider.
Exactly. And I think Nico Rosberg, if you could remember, before the start of the season, he made a statement that inconsistency, is part of this Hamilton game. Now, if Ferrari and Red Bull and co are able to key in and take advantage of the inconsistency of Lewis Hamilton is left to be seen. And it seems, Ferrari, are starting to key into this. But if Lewis Hamilton should eat the right stride, there's no stopping him.
But for now, it looks distracted. I mean, he's getting troubled. He knew he's the number one, and he knew he's the driver to beat. But now, I mean, he's picking up fights with virtually everybody. Now it's Max Verstappen now.
He's even picking up fights, with his team. He was looking for explanations, why there was a miscalculation in their data system in the first race of the season. I remember he had a failure in his gearbox, in the last practice session before the main race. So I think also play for it's going to be an exciting time, when it comes to Formula One this season. A lot, to look forward to. And there was a shocker in that race yesterday by Kimi Räikkönen of Ferrari, who had to retire, in that game, because he stopped, for a pit stop, with his team, and before his mechanic was able to fix, his left tire, it was off, and the mechanic, ended in hospital. So a lot,
Wow, 7 more races to the end of the season.
We are watching out.
Okay, watching out, no doubt about that. But so far, it's not the season of Lewis Hamilton. Well, maybe we'll get better as the season progresses. Well, just maybe. Let's leave Formula One and turn our attention to the hard court of basketball this morning and talk about matches of the National Basketball Association played over the weekend and early this morning. Yeah, Indiana Pacers doing very, very well for themselves. And talking about certain Victor Oladipo. Well, not playing for Nigeria anyway. Lost to United States of America. Did very well with Indiana Pacers, who defeated Hornets by 123 points to 117 points. Victor Oladipo actually had 27 points in that one, hitting 12 out of 15 shots and 3 of 4 outside, but he missed just only 2 points of that one. And checking out other matches, we also saw Mason Brooks coming off the bench to lead the scorers with 25 points to help Memphis Grizzlies to beat Detroit Pistons 130 points to 117 points. That's a massive 13-point